if you're following the Olympic basketball team at all, and this is the true dream team, right? I mean, every year or every time it comes around with the Olympics, I should say, there is a new dream team. And it's not the same old dream team that we had where they're literally blowing people out. They're putting 60 points on them. I mean, they're literally winning by the other night. They were favored by, I think it was either 44 points or 48 points. It really doesn't matter because they won by 1 point. I mean, this is really kind of interesting to see, and it maybe makes it that much more interesting to watch maybe during the Olympics. But they had an issue with Germany where they really just could not get the ball to drop from 3-point. Finally, Steph Curry hit one, I think, of 7 with 3-pointers. And then you had South Sudan out there as well, right? Now, let's be honest. Germany, yeah, there's a few players from the NBA there. South Sudan, maybe somebody. But these are games where folks that are looking at it are saying, you know what, the dream team is just going to blow these guys out, and it's not happening. I don't know if it's Steve Kerr as the coach, and he's doing some sort of, he's a big believer in that whole rest thing, right? The management and all the rest of it. I don't know what the deal is, but so far these don't count. But the closer we get to the Olympics where this really does start to count, this is kind of concerning. What do you think about this right now? Because this is 2 in a row where we're like barely winning the game, and that's not what men's basketball for the Olympics should look like.
Yeah, I mean, in some sense, it's cool because you got LeBron. He's 39, and that's like 1,000 in NBA years. And he's still coming up, and he's still leading the team. But yeah, you're right. Like the rest of the world's starting to catch up, and it's a far cry away from the days of Bird and Johnson and Ewing and all those real stars that all these guys probably look up to from the past. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what it means for the future of sports, but hey, at least it'll be a more competitive game here going forward. At least it's not just going to be the Globetrotters versus whatever team the Globetrotters goes against.
The Washington Generals. Yeah, you're right. Oh, yeah. No, it is amazing. I mean, I am shocked by it. The days of Michael Jordan and Bird and all these guys, I mean, it was blowout central, and they had fun, and they were just showing the world how dominant they were. That's kind of flown away for now anyway. But it just shows you also that basketball is a sport that has become global, and the rest of the world is catching up in a hurry. So I think you got to give them a little bit of credit for that. That's phenomenal. All right, next up, the NFL. Now, I played in the NFL. John played in the NFL. I loved it. There were times where the NFL, for people who don't know the history, it was 12 games. They moved it to 16. They moved it to 17 games in a single season. And now Roger Goodell wants to make it 18 games. Now, just so everybody fully understands this, when you sign your contract, it's not for playing in 17 games for the season. It's playing for the season. So if they add a game, it's not like these guys are adding money to their purse or whatever. They're not. This is just what you get per season. So it actually, in some ways, is actually cutting back what they're making per game when you really look at it from that perspective. My thing is this. 18 games might be too many. I almost think right now 17 might be too many. And matter of fact, the NFLPA, the Players Association, they really pushed back on the 17 games. Now they're really pushing back on the 18 games. Roger Goodell wants to push this thing through. All they want is money, money, money. They got television. That's where it all is. What do you think about this, Justin? Is this just the NFL getting more greedy every single year, or at least every couple of years, and stretching how many games these guys are playing?
Yeah, I think you said it best. And I mean, it makes perfect sense that you did. You're the expert on this topic. But yeah, I mean, they're probably looking at Netflix, booking some deals, and they're saying, how can we squeeze a little more money out of this sponge? And in the process, what are you going to get? You're going to get more injuries. You're probably going to get more upset players who don't really want to be adding these extra games for no reason. It's potentially a damper on the exclusivity of these games as well, that force you to wait and prepare and enforce all the hype and all the commentary that you can drive around it, and everyone gets really excited. The more games you start to add, the more you kind of take away from how special those games are, in my opinion.
I totally agree with you. I mean, the more games, more is not always better. And I think that they're making a mistake. And I even think the 17 was a mistake, quite frankly. But 18, you know what? It's just that much more opportunity for injuries as well. And obviously, they can sell it. They can sell it to the advertisers. There's no doubt about it. That's why they're doing it. But I just don't think from a player's perspective this makes any sense at all. And I'd be pushing back if I was one of those representatives for sure.